just a few reminders from the Dean's office as you guys begin term 3. Attendance reminders, make sure that you're aware of not only how many times you're absent in a term, but your tardies and dismissals, because the star 55 is per class. So pay attention to the days you're getting dismissed early or you're coming in late. Tardy to school, the policy will continue in term 3, where you're allowed 2 tardies prior to 8 a.m. without the penalty of detention. Following those, make sure that you're writing down what day you're going to be serving detention, or you could be given more consequences. Teacher detentions. Make sure that you're going to teacher detentions. Most last between 5 and 15 minutes. If it's reported to the deans that you miss a teacher detention, then you're getting 2 office detentions, which are 35 minutes apiece. So you got 70 minutes as opposed to between 5 and 15 minutes. So make sure you're reporting to the teacher detentions. Cell phone use, you've been given a lot of latitude this year, where you're able to use it in the passing time in the hallways and in the dining hall. Please respect staff members when they ask you to put it away if it's during class time. So if you're going to the bathroom, if you're going to get a drink of water, and they ask you to put it away, please do so, because that is instructional time. And if you're given the option to leave and go to the bathroom and get that drink of water, make sure that that's what you're doing and not using it as time to go out and go on your cell phone. Elevator use. We have a lot of students in the building that do need the elevator, so make sure that if you are using the elevator, you have appropriate permission from the nurse or your respective dean. If you're using the elevator, you're delaying students that do need it in between periods, and if you're caught using that and you're not supposed to be, then you will be given consequences. After school, dismissal and departure from the building. If you're not staying after with the teacher, if you don't have an activity, if you don't have a sport, make sure that you have plans for getting dismissed from the building at a reasonable amount of time, I'd say between 10 and 15 minutes after the 2:23 bell rings, you should be out of the building. I know the weather isn't great right now, but make sure that you're coming up with your plans to leave the building and getting those coordinated ahead of time, as opposed to hanging around the building unsupervised. Perfect attendance for term 3. You will be able to leave school if you have a study last period, but the perfect attendance for term 3 is going to be based on term 1 and term 2 attendance. So you have to have perfect attendance for term 1 and term 2 to be able to leave at the end of the day if you have a study. See your dean if you feel like you qualify for that. All parking spots are taken, so if you have an assigned spot, parking lot. If you do not have an assigned spot on campus at this point, all spots are taken and you're not allowed to park on campus. Morning drop-off out back. Make sure, obviously, that you're getting dropped off in the closest lane to the building. Make sure that you're pulling up as far as possible, and as soon as the car stops, please get out, even if you're not right by a door. It keeps the traffic flowing out there, and make sure that you're not getting dropped off in the outside lane, as that's kind of a passing lane and you don't want to get hit out there. Also, the right side of the building, where a lot of faculty members park, please do not be getting dropped off in the parking lot to the right of the building. We have staff members coming in that are trying to get into their parking spots, and they're not able to at times because people are getting dropped off. So drop off in the back of the building. You can also get dropped off and out front Nickel Street and walk up, but please not to the right of the building in that parking lot. If you're sick, please do not contact your parents on your own. Please go to the nurse, let the nurses contact your parents and go through the proper protocols there. In terms of the bathrooms, we've gotten some reports from the custodians that the bathrooms are, there's hair in the sinks, there's paper towels on the floor. Make sure that the bathrooms stay clean. You're all in high school. This should not be something that's a persistent problem that we have to remind you about. So make sure that you're keeping the bathrooms tidy. Please be conscious of social media and group text and chats. Whether you're in school or not, make sure that you're thinking before you put anything out there online. Last thing, seniors, obligations. I know we're a little ways away from graduation, but any outstanding obligations that you have could prevent you from graduation. So if you have any outstanding obligations at this point, I would start to get those reconciled. That's all I got. So you guys have a great term 3. Talk to you next term. Thanks.